Hey everyone, welcome to week 14 of the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Toolkit. And just as a reminder, if you're just jumping in for the first time, just to let you know that we are following the original fables. Each week, we're following one of the fables that was brought to me by angels during and after a near-death experience. And right now we are in, I think we're in week 6 of 7 in the orange fables. So the fables themselves, as you know already, for those of you doing this, we did the first 7, we did the first chakra in red. Now we're in the second 7. We are in the 6th card in the second chakra. So what that's telling me, and should be telling you at this point as well, is that our emotions, which are really kind of in the zone of our second chakra, are really being dictated right now through that 6th sense. So really this week's card, if you will, this week's fable, the fable of the carrot-colored cloak, which, as you can see in the image, I want to just point it out to you, that she's actually shedding the cloak. And next to her is the great goddess. I'm pretty sure that's the great goddess. And so it is a great spirit card. And I think this makes it very important. Yeah, it's the great goddess. Okay, good. This makes it very important because there are only 17 great spirit fables in this collection and in the deck itself. So what becomes important is it is a gift. It's an emotional gift, and will we take it? The actual name of the card is perseverance. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing when you think of emotions. You know, persevering, pressing on, not giving up on something because things might be challenging in the moment. One of the things that I experienced is that, this is a long time ago, I was dating someone and we were just having problems. We knew it was kind of like not going great. And I asked him one day, I said, can we just have an agreement with each other that we're going to stay together until we have grown from this relationship? And I said, I kind of feel like we're near that. And he said, yeah, me too. And we agreed, and we grew a lot in the next couple of weeks. And then eventually we moved on. The importance of what I'm sharing with you is that we didn't quit before the miracle, which was an awareness that, and I needed this awareness, an awareness that I really wanted to be with somebody who's crazy nutto about me and me about them. And that was not possible as long as I had that relationship in my life. And he found that he really didn't want to be in a relationship. So his life changed too. But there were really profound experiences we had because we persevered, because we didn't blow the relationship up. We stayed. We found out more about who we were and really are. So when I say to you, it's a second chakra fable, the second chakra is really telling us about our emotions. We're in this emotional 7 weeks, right? So we're in this 6th week of 7, which means we're kind of nearing the wave of that second chakra. So don't be surprised if you find that past family circumstances come up, old ideas, old things that you felt emotionally perhaps were painful for you in your family of origin, things that didn't get worked out in the past get an opportunity to occur here. So let's take a look. I want to go over this fable just a little bit. Now, one of the things you want to know about this is, and I said this earlier, but the focus this week is don't quit before the miracle. And if we look at Shannon, who is, how interesting, Shannon, who's the girl in the orange dress, she is really, I wanted to show you this, I'm sorry. She's not even looking at the great goddess. She's looking down and away from the help that's right next to her. So it tells me that she is caught up, if you look at it that way, energetically, she's caught up in the sadness because she's looking down. She's not able to look up. She's also released the carrot-colored cloak, but she still in this moment doesn't feel better. In the fable, you'll discover the value and what the importance is of the carrot-colored cloak when you read it. But for now, remember that this is about staying on track, even if you feel like quitting right now. Because on the other side of staying with something longer than you want to is the revelation of a lesson. Something is going to occur to you that will bring you to that next level. Interestingly, and I'm not going to read the whole fable, but interestingly, in the fable, Shannon actually quits before the miracle, and someone else gets the reward she deserved and was going to get, but she got so discouraged she walked away. And so what I want to say to you is that this really is a circumstance when this card comes up of staying and really allowing yourself to notice when you've stayed too long and when it is time to stay longer. So this is an important thing because it really differentiates, especially because I talk so much about true crime. It really differentiates the idea of knowing when you are quitting because it's your will, you want it to happen this second, and knowing when it can wait a week, and then you can say, okay, I will let this end when it ends. So persevering really means that you're going to stay on this trajectory until there's an outcome for you. Now, why is that important? Well, I think that so many people, and some of you have seen some of my other videos in the true crime arena, some people are like, it's time to let this go. You've got to drop it. You've got to let it go. And I'm like, I understand that you feel that way, and I want to honor that. However, I trust that I will move on when I get that miracle. And I feel parts of it are showing up for me. So when I'm saying this to you is that it's important to not be harsh with this. And I think that's what this message is it's really about understanding that when we persevere, when we stay, even when other people would quit, it's because there is something in there for us. There's some kind of magical growth. There's an opportunity that's just around the corner that we may have worked very hard for. And if we just wait long enough, it's going to come. So the idea of don't quit before the miracle becomes a theme this week. And really, when I talk about that, I want you to just calmly go inside and say, how many times have I given up when I could have gotten X? Because what we learn as we get older, and I think this is really the key, is that we learn that if we stay with something long enough, it probably will be successful for us. Now, I'm talking about something that's realistic too. I mean, obviously, if I wanted to be a linebacker for the New York Jets, that might not happen. But, I think that if we take it within the context of what I intend, then you're getting it. So let's take a look. And I think this is so important. I think, let me just take a look at this. Okay. So there's two things that are important for this week. One is expanding your capacity to receive. One of the reasons we quit sometimes is because things are getting too good for us and we can't handle it. So we quit and we go, I can't do that. But the truth is that you must ask yourself, how good am I willing to let it get? And how much do I have to expand my capacity to receive? That's an emotional expansion, right? That's emotionally saying, I'm going to allow this in, sixth sense, third eye. I'm going to complete agreements with my family of origin, and I'm going to really stay the course that I have determined. So that's a really important one this week. And, that's something I want to say. Really be the observer this week and the difference between your emotional pain and your capacity to recognize that your emotions may not be the best indicator of the true situation. I don't know about you, but I may have known one or two people, perhaps that may have let's say, tried to hook my emotions on someone else. Oh, I mean, you know, someone else that I know. But the truth is that sometimes we want to take emotional hostages when we really just cannot handle the pain. And when you get to that point, one of the techniques I use, especially in this second chakra, is I recognize my emotions, I breathe deeply, I stand right away, and I just go, I can handle this. I can. And I ask for God's assistance, whatever that is to you, good orderly direction, whatever that means to you. Take it in and kind of recognize that it's just a feeling. And that pain or otherwise, it is a feeling to remind us how strong we are. So recognize that this is also an opportunity for you to know that when you've moved through that kind of feeling, you can do it again and again. And it gets less and less and less each time. And that's a vital thing. Pain at that level does decrease when we increase our capacity, because you see, the more we increase our capacity to expand the good stuff, the less room there is for the pain. And at a certain point, the pain is this big and the joy is this big. And what happens is the pain wins out. And here we're asked to say, so what to the pain? You know, and that's where Neutral Observer really helps me. And I talk about it a lot in How to Read the Cards for Yourself and Others and techniques around Neutral Observer. And one of the big things about that is to be able to say, yeah, I'm in pain, and now I'm going to walk the dog. Yes, I am feeling really angry right now. I'm experiencing incredible anger, and I'm going to go do the dishes, or I'm going to clean the kitchen. Or I'm going to experience this feeling, not shut it down, but I'm going to do something anyway. So when I say this to you, you know, this is kind of some of the ways that when I have had extreme emotional pain, I have worked with it to get to the other side of it. And I guarantee once you learn to get to the other side of it, you will be able to create what you came here to do. This is a very pivotal week. This is a very pivotal card. Okay, so let's see what my tip is. My tip for the week is each part of this fable builds upon the concept of not quitting before the miracle. I think we talked about that. Okay. Oh, I love this. Our main job in life, it reminds us of, show up, pay attention, and tell the truth. Show up, I'm here. Pay attention, I'm listening. The truth is, I don't want to be here. You know, or I do actually, but what is the truth? What is the truth? And the truth is never, you make me feel sad. It's, the truth is, I'm here and I'm in a lot of pain. And something about what you're doing or what you're representing to me is bringing up pain. See, I think the more we own our feelings, the more we have, when I say control, we have a greater ability for us to direct them, to guide us, as opposed to them controlling us. Okay, so basically, the discipline. See, this is an important thing. The discipline this week is really to identify emotional pain and say, okay, that's emotional pain. Oh, it's bad. You know, it's kind of like, I love when I go to the doctor and they say, you know, scale of 1 to 10. And I always go, you know, how bad's your pain? I go, on whose scale? And they're like, well, yours. And I go, but you're going to judge it based on what I say. So all I can tell you is that I have the capacity to handle a 10 as though it's a 5. And they always go, what? So I always say, look, in your world, it's a 10. In my world, it's a 5, because I have learned that pain is really just something that I energetically use. Now, obviously, you know, there is pain, you know, where you're real pain. So I don't want to minimize pain, but I am saying that there is such a thing as expanding our capacity for good feelings does allow us the opportunity to work through challenges in a much more mature way. Okay, so first impressions, let's see what this says. The other thing to remember is, and you know this already because you've had this experience, I know that you have, that the cliche of things seem darkest before the dawn. And the truth is, things are going to get better for you. So the idea is stay on course, stay on course. Oh, did I say stay on course? That's right. Okay. So this week, The intention is, am I willing to create emotional fulfillment? And it says when we long for something emotionally, what we actually long for is that part of ourselves. It's really emotional satisfaction that's eluding us. This week, set the intention to be what you long for. Be what you long for. Got it? Got it. Be what you long for. All right. I'm just going to, as a reminder, just say, hey, do all the exercises. But remember, you know, if you can't, or something is just really torturing you, just read the freaking Fable. You know, and I really always want to say to you, let yourself off the hook emotionally. While this is a pivotal week, sometimes things happen to you anyway, and you're not going to have to worry about it. But even if you just opened it and read the Friday thing, the 3 things of the 3 lines of the meditation, I always encourage you, sorry, my hair's like in my face. I always encourage you to read the Fable, because the Fable is going to give you the basis for the experience of the week. The exercises allow you to go deeper than you could have had you just self-interpreted. So I encourage you to do that. And this week is very important because it is the final chakra in your body. It's that 6th chakra within the 2nd chakra. We're talking about the 2nd chakra, but remember I said that each card has a chakra energy. So as this is in the 2nd chakra, but it has that, it's the 6th card. So it's going to have that past, third eye, changing our future energy to it. Remember that that's part of this journey. Now, as I say that, it's the final one that is energetically in our body. When we look next week at completion, a whole new identity will come about. And I will see you next week in the next video. And please comment below about specifically what have you experienced in your life around, I want to say, personal pain that you walked through and found enlightenment on the other side. I look forward to seeing you next week, everybody. Have a really, really blessed week. Thanks for joining me as always.